Susan Mancuso is a dynamo whose work ethic, caring attitude, and love for her community are characteristic of a pioneer hero. But Susan's presence here in the Lackawanna Valley was a twist of fate for her and a stroke of luck for us. Susan Fay Althouse spent her early years in Berks County. Daughter of Ralph and Fay Althouse, Susan led a normal childhood along with her older sister and younger brother. In the early 1960s, when Susan was about 10 or 11, her insurance agent dad was offered a promotion and a choice of 2 locations to move: Miami, Florida, or Carbondale, Pennsylvania. Her hunting enthusiast father selected Carbondale, and as they say, the rest is history.
The only negative part of it was I came from a brand new school district, and we moved to Carbondale, and the school system seemed like 20 years behind the times. So I had a little trouble when I walked into the classroom the first day and we were sitting in desks with inkwells. That was a bit of a culture shock for me, but I made the best of it, and it was great.
Susan enjoyed living on the outskirts of town, playing on the playgrounds and making new friends. But her dad made a list of 3 very important things the family had to do when they arrived.
So as the moving truck pulled away, my father got us in the car, and he took us first to the school to register for classes. Secondly, we went to the church and signed up at the church. And the third place he took us was to get a family membership at the YMCA. And that's where my interest in the YMCA began.
Even though Susan had never been to a Y before, it became an integral part of her growing up. From the various activities offered by the Y to such weekly events as Teen Town dances, the Y was the center of the action. Susan's dad started giving tennis lessons and sponsoring the annual Y tennis tournament, and her mom volunteered giving swimming lessons to generations of children.
I think the way she learned how to swim is her father took her and threw her in the creek, and she said, "Kick and paddle."
Susan's parents were active raising funds for the Y's annual campaign, and Susan even chaired the junior division one year. After graduating from Carbondale area, it was her love of math that sent her on a course to be a teacher and earn a degree from Penn State. Along the way, she tried a course in accounting and knew that was the field she wanted to pursue. One day, Susan needed a ride home from State College for a visit, and her dad asked an acquaintance of his if he would oblige. Donnie Mancuso said yes, and that 2.5-hour ride started a relationship that has spanned nearly 50 years of marriage.
I actually went to school at Penn State, and I wanted to stay in that area. It was my husband, I think, who dragged me back by the hair because he was in a family business and his father was getting elderly and knew that he needed some help. So that's what brought us back to Carbondale, and it was probably the best thing we ever did. It was a great place to raise my children.
Susan returned to Carbondale and began an accounting business out of her home. She and Donnie also started a family. As her business grew, Susan continued her community service in making this a better place in which to live.
I was at the Y and always active at the Y, that when I was asked to be on the board, I felt it was an honor because the YMCA is in my heart. I always say to Steve, it's like my third child, this YMCA. And it is, and that's how I feel about it. I really do care about it. So I did go on the board of directors, and then in the maybe early 80s, I was president of the board of directors, and that was very educational for me and very enjoyable. I really liked, I was very concerned about the Y surviving.
As their family grew up, their participation in Y activities grew.
So we tried to find someone who could chair the campaign, a mover and shaker, you know, someone that is out there in the public. And we did ask a few people, and they said they weren't interested. And Steve said, well, Susan, you chair it. And I laughed. I said, me? I'm not a mover shaker. I'm not the person for the job. He said, you're the exact person for the job because you love it and it's in your heart. And you convey that whenever you talk about the YMCA. He said, I think you're perfect.
And their children started to take a leadership role.
And it did mean a lot to me to see my son step up to the plate as a young adult and help with this campaign. That makes me feel good that my children too are philanthropists. They enjoy giving and helping people. I think that's so important in this day and age because a lot of people are all about me, me, me. Absolutely. And I don't think that's so healthy.
Susan Mancuso has been a driving force in the growth and success of the Greater Carbondale YMCA.
From infancy to 90-year-olds, everybody comes to the Y. Everybody enjoys the Y. To this day, when I walk through those doors, I can't help but to smile. I'm so proud of the YMCA and what they've become and what they do for the community. I think it's just incredible.
And now, as the fourth generation of her family gets involved, we can be assured that the future of the YMCA and the entire region will be bright.
I'm honored to be named a pioneer hero, but a hero. I'm not a hero. All of you out there are the true heroes. Steve Durkin, Mary Ponser, Jason, Kyrie, Lori, Heather, all the volunteers and every single employee, and I know many of you are out there tonight. You are the true heroes. You're what keeps the YMCA together. You are the YMCA family, and I can never, ever thank you enough for all you do for the community. And the people out there that donated to our campaign and continually donate to our campaign and back the Y, you're the heroes too. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I love you all.